Hello again. Now in this video I want to look at knowledge, understanding and consequences, and there's a difference between the three. And to explain that, I'm going to give you an example of a fault that was committed on a test recently. So the subject was moving off and stopping, and the fault was when the pupil had stopped, they brought the clutch up and stalled the engine before they'd secured the car. So the pupil turns around and says, well, why did that happen? So the fault has been identified. Obviously there's a stall. They need knowledge, understanding and consequences to all of their actions. So the knowledge is when the clutch comes up and it's still in gear, it's going to stall. But that's only knowledge. It doesn't give them understanding of why that's happened. So you would need to explain that when the car's stopped and it's in gear, if the clutch is down, the engine's disconnected from the wheels. When you bring the clutch back up, you're going to connect the engine to the wheels. So if the wheels are stopped, you're going to stop the engine, and that causes a stall. So that's an explanation of why it's happened, in effect giving the understanding of why that's happened. So the knowledge is there. They know that if they bring the clutch up and it's in gear, it's going to stall. They now understand why that happened. But then we need to give the consequences of doing that. So you would need to talk about the fact that if the handbrake wasn't on, and even if it was on, it can still lurch forward. But the consequence of bringing the clutch up when you're in gear and the car's stationary is that the car's going to lurch forwards, and if there's somebody walking in front of you, you can quite easily knock them down or crash into a car that might be parked in front of you. So you've covered all three aspects there with that one, what seems like a small fault. That's quite important to remember because it's so often overlooked in Part 3 tests. You will see the fault, the car stalls, you'll say, oh, it stalled because you brought the clutch up, but that's only a part of it. You're not going into the explanation of why that causes the stall and the consequences of doing it. So just remember that whenever you see a fault, go through, has the pupil got the knowledge, have they got the understanding, and have they got consequences to their actions? And if you've done that, you've cracked it. See you next time.